Welcome to Cats and Dragons, where mythical beasts meet adorable whiskers. If you love epic dragon tales and charming cat adventures, you've just found your new favorite channel here. We craft magical stories, dive into fun facts, and bring fantasy to life, one paw and one fire breath at a time. Subscribe now and join our growing community of fantasy lovers, cat fans, and story seekers. New videos every week, because in our world, dragons purr and cats rule. Take a deep breath in and slowly let it out. Now gently close your eyes, allow the weight of the day to melt away. There's nothing you need to do, know where you need to be. Just this moment, right here, right now. Feel your body sink into the bed beneath you. Let your shoulders drop, your jaw relax, your hands soften. With every breath, feel yourself drifting deeper, into calm, into quiet, into peace. Imagine a soft, warm light wrapping around you, comforting, gentle, like a blanket of stars. Let your thoughts come and go like clouds in the sky. No judgment, no pressure, just rest. You are safe, you are calm, you are loved. Now, sleep, and let your dreams carry you gently through the night. The wind howled through the ruins of Kael like a vengeful spirit, rattling the bones of the fallen. Snowflakes danced in the frigid air, settling on the blood-stained stones where, decades ago, the great witch's stronghold had been sacked. Among the wreckage, a lone figure knelt, his silver medallion shaped like a wolf's head, trembling against his chest. Kael the Grim was not born a witcher. 20 winters past, a merchant caravan was ambushed near the foothills of the Blue Mountains. Bandits, drunk on bloodless, left no survivors, or so they thought. Beneath the corpse of a butchered guardsman, a child stirred, a boy of no more than 6. His dark eyes burned with something feral, something alive. The witchers found him that night. Vesemir, the last of the old masters, sensed the boy's unnatural resilience. The law of surprise had not brought him here, fate had. "You'll die on the path," growled one of the trainers. The boy bared his teeth. "Then I'll die fighting." They named him Kael after the ancient word for storm. Kael was no place for mercy. The other boys, the ones taken by the law, whispered that Kael was cursed. He fought like a cornered beast, breaking bones in training, refusing to yield even when his body screamed for rest. Then came the grasses. The mutagens twisted his flesh, his mind. Where others succumbed to agony, Kael raged. Visions of fire and slaughter consumed him, memories not his own. Voice dark as the grave slithered through his thoughts. You were born for more than this. When he awoke, his eyes were the gold of a predator. Years passed, Kael became a killer. His blade singing through drowners, neckers, and worse, but the voice never left. Then came the Midge. A sorceress in crimson robes arrived at Kael, seeking an escort through the wilds. She called herself Lilith, and her smile was too sharp, her words too sweet. Kael, ever the outcast, was chosen to guard her. It was a trap. Lilith sought not protection, but a vessel. A demon lurked within her, and it hungered for a witcher's body, one strong enough to contain it. In a forgotten crypt she struck, binding Kael with cursed chains. "Your fury will be my weapon," she hissed. But Kael had known rage longer than he had known peace. He broke the chains. The fight was brutal. Lilith's magic turned the earth to fire, the air to blades. But Kael was no ordinary witcher. The demon's whispers had awakened something in him, a power buried deep, waiting. When his sword pierced her heart, the crypt shook. The demon, denied its prize, shrieked into the void. But as Lilith died, she laughed. "You cannot outrun what you are." Kael returned to Kael changed. The other witches watched him warily. Even Vesemir's gaze held questions. But the path was long, and monsters waited in the dark. And Kael, he hungered for them. The village of Blackbough was rotting from the inside out. Kael smelled it before he saw it, the thick stench of spoiled meat and wet earth, the metallic tang of fear. The villagers huddled in their homes, their doors barred with iron nails and crude holy symbols. Only the alderman, a hunched man with milky eyes, dared meet the witcher's gaze. "It took my son last night," the man croaked. "Dragged him into the marsh. You'll find what's left of him there, if the thing hasn't eaten it all." Kael's medallion hummed against his chest. Not a ghoul, then something worse. The bog was a graveyard of half-sunken bones. Pale willows wept over black water, their branches clawing at Kael's armor like skeletal fingers. He followed the trail of shredded flesh, the signs of a struggle in the prints, not paws, not hands. A fog rolled in, thick and unnatural. was a child's voice, sweet, mocking. Are you lost, wolf? From the mist lurched a figure, its limbs too long, its skin stretched taut over jagged bones. Its face, God's, the alderman's son, or what was left of him. Boy's mouth split into a grin too wide for a human jaw. You smell like her, like the red woman. Kael's blood turned to ice. Lilith, the creature lunged. Steel would not kill this thing. Kael knew at the moment his blade sliced through its ribs only for the wound to stitch itself back. Together, the flesh writhing like maggots. The boy thing giggled. She left a piece of herself in you, wolf. Can't you feel it? The voice in Kael's mind answered. A surge of heat flooded his veins. His vision burned gold, not the amber of a witcher, but something deeper, something older. His next cut wasn't with steel. Fire erupted from his palm, black as a starless night. The creature shrieked, its stolen body crumbling to ash. The marsh itself recoiled, the water boiling away from his boots when the flames died. Only silence remained, and the whispers. More, they hissed, more. Kael returned to Black Bow at dusk. The alderman wept when he saw the charred remains of his son-Es's tunic in the Witcher-Es's grip. It's done, Kael said, but it wasn't. Night in the ruins of an abandoned watchtower. Kael stared into his reflection in a stolen dagger. His eyes flickered gold, then black, then gold again. Lilith had not just tried to bind a demon to him, she had succeeded, and now it was waking up. The wind in Crookback Bog didn't howl, it whimpered. Kael's boots sank into the sucking mire as he followed the trail of missing children, rotten offerings, and the kind of fear that clings to a place like a disease. His medallion hadn't stopped vibrating since he crossed into the swamp. The thing inside him purred. She knows we're coming, the voice cooed. The old meat, the hungry one. The villagers spoke of them in hushed tones, the ladies of the wood. Benevolent spirits to the desperate, monsters to those with sense. But Kael wasn't here to pray. The first sign he wasn't alone was the giggle, high-pitched, wet, like a drowned girl choking on laughter. Ooh, crooned a voice from the reeds, a wolf with rotten teeth. The crone emerged from the fog, her limbs spider-long, her face a grotesque mockery of motherhood. Weavis, the others lurked just beyond sight, but Kael could smell them mold, blood, and the sweet decay of their gifts. Lilith's little puppet, Weavis sneered. She promised you power, didn't she? But all she gave you was a leash. Kael's sword was in his hand before he could think. The crone cackled. Strike me, and the demon eats your soul by sunrise. The crones didn't deal in coin. They dealt in flesh. A trade, whispered Brewers from the shadows. The name of the thing inside you, for a taste of what you are. Kael's gut twisted. They wanted blood, not his. No, theirs. The demon hungered, and the crones knew it. Let it feed, urged the voice in his mind. Just a little when the first crone lunged. Kael didn't dodge. He let the darkness uncoil. Black fire erupted from his fingertips, not the controlled blaze of Igni, but something alive. Something that screamed as it devoured Brewer's arm. She howled, her sister screeching in chorus, as the flames licked at their stolen flesh. Tell me, Kael roared, his voice not entirely his own. Weavis hissed through broken teeth. It's no demon, wolf. It's a shard, a piece of the one they call Gaunter Odim. The bog erupted. The crones, wounded but far from dead, bled into the mist, their laughter trailing behind them. Run, little wolf. He remembers where he left his toys. Kael collapsed to his knees, the fire receding, his hands shook. The name Odim slithered through his mind like a snake. The man in the mirror, the maker of bargains. And now, thanks to Lilith, a piece of him lived in Kael's blood. Somewhere in the distance, a clock began to chime. The clocks in Oxenford all struck 13. Kael had heard the stories, whispers of a vagabond who granted wishes with poison barbs. A trickster who collected souls like coins. Gaunter Odim, Master Mirror, the man of glass, and now, something worse, something inside him. The Silver Salamander Tavern was too warm, too bright, too alive for what was about to happen. Kael sat in the corner, untouched tankard of ale before him. His medallion lay still, unnervingly so. Then the scrape of a chair. An immodest doublet sat across from him. His fingers steepled, his smile was pleasant, his eyes were wrong. Kael the Grim, Gaunter said. Or should I say, Kael of me? The tavern froze. The barkeep mid-pour, a drunkard mid-laugh. Even the candle flames stood still. Kael's sword was halfway drawn when Gaunter tutted. My dash on. Steel won't solve this. You've been carrying a piece of me for quite some time now. Stolen goods, Witcher. Gaunter leaned forward. I want it back, but I'm fair. Let's play a game. A dagger appeared between the bone handle obsidian blade. 3 questions, answer all correctly, and I pluck my shard from your soul clean as a surgeon. Get one wrong. His smile widened. Well, you've seen what I do to bad pupils. Kael's mind raced. Drone's warning echoed. He remembers where he left his toys. First question, Gaunter whispered. What did the alderman's son really say to you in the marsh? Kael froze. The boy thing's voice slithered back. You smell like her, like the red woman. But that wasn't all. There'd been another whisper under the words. A name. Olgierd. Kael growled. Gaunter's eye twitched. Clever wolf. The devil murmured. Very well. Second, why did Lilith truly bind you? Not for power, not for a vessel. Kael saw it now, the way her eyes had flickered to his medallion during the fight. The way she'd smiled when he bled. She wasn't trying to give you a demon, Gaunter groaned. She was trying to take something from you. The truth struck like a crossbow bolt. The trial of the grasses, Kael said. She wanted whatever the mutagens woke up in me. Gaunter's grin faltered. The dagger flipped, point down, embedding itself in the table. The tavern darkened. Last question. Wolf. Gaunter's voice dripped with venom. What happens now if I reclaim my shard? Kael's hand shot to his medallion, vibrating wildly. The thing inside him thrashed. He understood. The shard wasn't just in him. It was keeping something else down. The mutations, the fury. The thing the Witchers of Kaer Morhen had really buried in his blood. I die, Kael said. Gaunter sighed. Oh, Kael, you should have lied. Asterisk's time snapped back. Tavern roared to life just in time for Gaunter to plunge the dagger into Kael's chest. But no blood came. Only shadow. The shard tore free, a wisp of black smoke in Gaunter's palm. Kael gasped, his vision swimming, but he didn't die. Because the demon wasn't the only thing waking up. Gaunter's smile vanished. Oh dear. Kael's eyes turned black, not from corruption, from something older. You should have left me buried, Kael whispered, but the voice wasn't his. Gaunter O'Dim, for the first time in centuries, stepped back. The world burned gold and black. Kael's body arched off the tavern floor as the thing inside him unfurled like a starving beast. His veins darkened beneath his skin, spreading like ink and water. The silver salamander's patron screamed, fleeing as the walls breathed inward, but groaning as if the building itself feared what was waking up. Gaunter O'Dim stood very still. Well, he murmured, this is unexpected. Memories that were not his own tore through Kael's mind, a crypt beneath Kaer Morhen. Witchers in ancient armor chanting in a tongue dead for 1,000 years. Body on a stone slab, no, not a body, a vessel. And within it, we bind it in steel and sorcery, spoke a voice like Vesemir's, but older, harder. We bury it in the blood of the unbroken. Kael vomited black bile. The mutations, the trials, they were never just about making Witchers. They were about making a cage. Gaunter flicked his wrist. The tavern dissolved, replaced by a starless void. You're a relic, Wolf, he said, circling Kael like a scholar observing a fascinating tumor. A living prison for a creature so old, it remembers when the continent was young. The Witchers called it Chernobog, the black sun, a god, a demon. Does it matter? Kael's teeth sharpened in his mouth. Why would they put it in a child? Because only something that refuses to die can hold it, Gaunter said. And you, Kael of Nowhere, have always refused. The truth seared him. The ambush, the bodies, the way he lived when no one should have. He was chosen before the Witchers ever found him. The void trembled. Something pushed against Kael's ribs from within. Let me out, Chernobog groaned. Its voice the howl of a dying star. Let me burn the world clean. Gaunter sighed. And here I thought I was the villain. Kael's hands clawed at his own face. The thing wanted his skin, his voice, his rage. But Kael had been angry long before the darkness knew his name. No, he slammed a fist into the void floor. The black veins recoiled. Gaunter raised an eyebrow. HM, perhaps I'll collect you later. Reality snapped back. Kael found himself on his knees in the Oxenford docks. Dawn bleeding across the horizon, his medallion lay shattered on the stones. A passing sailor spat. Damn Witchers. Drunk before noon. Kael touched his chest. The weight was gone. Gaunter had taken his shard. But deeper down, something stirred. Black Sun was waking, and the only ones who knew how to cage it were dead. Or were they? A name surfaced from the chaos, ever evil eye. The last last surviving witch who'd worked with the witchers before the pogrom. A man said to haunt the ruins of Hyver where the first trial of the grasses was performed. Kael stood. The path had never been darker. The ruins of Hyvar didn't appear on any map. Kael found it by following the screams not in the air, but in his blood. The deeper he trekked into the forsaken valley where no birds sang, the hotter the black veins beneath his skin burned. His medallion was gone, shattered by Gaunter's game, but he didn't need it to know. This place remembered him. Hyvar wasn't a fortress like Kaer Morhen. It was a tomb. Towers of blackened bone jutted from the earth, not stone, not wood, but the petrified remains of something vast that had died screaming. The air smelled of lightning and spoiled milk. Every step sent whispers slithering through Kael's mind. You should not be here. You are the key in the lock. He waits in the womb. The figure stood at the heart of the ruins, his back to Kael, hunched over a fire that burned blue. Every evil eye didn't turn. Took you long enough, prisoner. The much was more corpse than man, one eye milky white, the other socket empty, his fingers ending in yellowed claws. The firelight revealed the truth. The ruins weren't ruins at all. They were a ritual circle. At its center, a slab stained black with centuries of blood. They told you the trials were perfected at Kaer Morhen, ever rasped. A lie. They were tamed there, the first grasses. We didn't mutate men. We buried gods in them. Kael's vision doubled for a heartbeat. He saw hundreds of slabs, each holding a thrashing child. Most died, some became witchers, and one, you were the only one who lived with Chernobog intact, ever said. The others tore themselves apart, but you fought it. The fire roared, shadows deepened. Something stirred beneath Kael's skin, ever finally turned. His empty socket weeping black fluid, they called it the Black Sun. But that's not quite right. It's the hunger at the heart of all things. A void that gnaws. It's been waking since the day Lilith's spell cracked its cage. Kael's hand moved without thought, his fingers plunged into Ivor's empty eye socket. Visions erupted, a young Mirror, sword in hand, standing over the slab where Kael bled. The word spoken, his name will be Kael for the storm. And if he lives, we will kill him. A dagger in the night. A witcher's blade aimed at a child's throat, then stopping, not from mercy, from fear. Kael wrenched free, Ivor cackled. Now you see, the witchers didn't save you, they spared you. Because the thing inside you led them. Asterisk, the ground trembled. The blue fire inverted. Burning black, you have to paths, prisoner, Ivor hissed. Die here, and take Chernobog to the grave with you. Or embrace it and let the world burn. The voice in Kael's blood roared, let me out. Kael closed his eyes and pulled. When Kael opened his eyes, the ruins of Hyvar were gone. Only ash remained. Every evil eye stood before him, or what was left. The mage's body crumbled like charred paper, his final whisper lost in the wind. Oh, you're something new. Kael looked at his hands. His veins no longer burned black, they burned gold.